In this video, we're going to be looking at the information on pages Word 8 and Word 9 in which we're going to be saving a document. And of course, to store a document permanently, so you can open it and edit it at another time, you must save it as a file. And when you save a document, you give it a name called a file name and indicate the location to where you want to store the files. Now, files created in Word 2013 are automatically assigned the .docx file extension to distinguish them from files created in other software programs. You can save a document using the Save button on the Quick Access toolbar, which looks like a little floppy disk here, which I know those are kind of the thing of the past, but they still use that same symbol, but that's the Save button that's there. Or you can use the Save command on the File tab. Now, once you have saved a document for the first time, you should save it again every few minutes and always before printing so that the save file is updated to reflect the latest changes. So on here, the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to click on the Save button, and this is step 1. It tells us to click the Save button on the Quick Access toolbar. So we click on here, and the very first time you save a document, the Save As screen is going to open, and this is a behind the scenes image on there, or screen on there, or the backstage view I should say, and which is going to display the Save As. And the screen is going to display all the places you can save a file to, which is including your SkyDrive or your computer or to a different location. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on Computer. And this is step 2. It tells us to click Computer in the Save As screen, and then we're going to click on this folder that says Browse. Now, if you don't see the extension as part of a file name, because most of the time you'll probably see these file names on here, the setting in Windows to display the file extension is not active. So you would have to get into Windows and have it display the file extension. But you can always take a look here where it says Save As Type Word Document, and it has a little asterisk there, which is a wildcard, .docx, and that .docx ultimately just tells the computer that this is a Word file. And of course, this is where the Save As dialog box is opening. Now, the default file name, Quest Specialty Travel, appears in the file name text box. The default file name is based on the first few words of the document. The default file type, Word document, which we saw right here, which our mouse pointer is pointing at right there, is the Word document, and that's going to appear in the Save As type list box. And of course, there's some other options. If you take a look, if you click on that, you can take a look. There's some different options that you could choose on there, but we want to have this as a Word document. On step 3, it tells us that we want to type in WDA Guarino Tour Memo in the file name text box. So if we go through there, we can select this information and we can delete it. That's using the click and drag method to select text. Otherwise, just place your insertion point at the end of the name and just hit your backspace to delete it. But we're going to call this WDA-Guarino Tour Memo. And of course, the new file name replaces the default file name. Giving your documents a brief descriptive file name actually makes it easier to locate and organize them later. Now, of course, you do not need to type the .docx when you're typing in a new file name. Now, step 4 tells us that we want to navigate to the location to where you store your data files. And one of the best locations for you to store your data files is actually going to be in your home drive, which if you take a look underneath the computer, you will look underneath network locations, and it should have a folder that's there that has, it should say home directory or a home drive for you there. For myself, for my purposes, I'm going to save mine onto the desktop for right now. But like I said, the best place for you to store your files is going to be to your home directory or into the Documents folder, in which that is underneath the Libraries tab. And if you click on Documents, it's going to put it into what was formerly known as the My Documents. But once you choose your location of where you would like it to be saved at on there, we're going to click on Save, and that's step 5. And of course you'll notice that now up here that the name that we've typed into it is now displaying in the title bar. Now of course you can navigate to different drives or folders in several ways. For an example, you can click on a drive or folder in the address bar of the navigation pane to go directly to that location. You can also click the double arrow in the address bar to display a list of drives and folders. You can also double click a drive or folder in the folder window to change the active location. And when you're finishing navigating to the drive or folder to where you want to store your data files, the location will appear in that address bar. Then of course once we click on Save, the document is saved to the drive and the folder that you specified in the Save As dialog box, and the title bar will now reflect and display the new file name. Next, what we're going to do is on step 6, it tells us that we want to place our insertion point before conference in the first sentence. So right up here, and we're going to go right here, and we're going to place our insertion point right before the word conference. Next, we're going to type large, and then our space. And we're going to hit our space bar. And that way you can continue to work on a document after you've saved it with a new file name. However, after you make changes to a document, you always want to make sure you want to go back and save. And so that's where we're going to go back up here on step 7 and click on the Save on the Quick Access toolbar. That way your change to the memo has been saved. And after you save a document for the first time, you must continue to save the changes you make to the document. Now, it also provides a keyboard shortcut for us on here that we could use, which is Control-S to save a document. Now, for those that are not familiar with the SkyDrive on there, the Microsoft SkyDrive is a free file hosting service that allows you to save and sync files to the cloud, or to a cloud, I should say, and then access them from any computer that is connected to the internet. The files you save to the Microsoft SkyDrive are available only to the people you grant access to, and every file you store in the Microsoft SkyDrive is automatically synced so that you can get the most up-to-date version of your files from any computer. When you open a file that is stored on Microsoft SkyDrive, the file opens in its corresponding Office web app, which is actually a simplified version of Word, Excel, PowerPoint, or OneNote. And Office web apps open within the Internet web browser. And because these programs are online, they take up no computer disk space. And using Office web apps, users can upload, create, edit, and share Microsoft Office documents directly within a web browser. You are connected to the SkyDrive when you log into your computer using your Windows account. You can find more information about the Working in the Cloud appendix on there, or just do an internet search for Working in the Cloud. And that concludes the information for this video. In the next video, we're going to continue on, and we're going to be talking about selecting text inside of a document. So you now may move on to the next video.